this world?
Is was the Son of God, according to you, but
the creator of all things,
the Prince of
is
Peace.
not Jesus Christ. It is God the Father. If you want to go to that, so you're.
Wait,
and
wait. What point are you trying to make?
God the Father looked down and said, "I want to save this world from their sin and their destruction and their violence."
Then it wouldn't be.
And He
it wouldn't
sent
be
His
poverty.
Son
It wouldn't be hunger.
through the womb of a young unmarried
Women and
woman
children wouldn't be
in a culture
getting
want to kill
raped.
children, and the Son
Especially
of God
being raped by those
came
in the
here
church.
to redeem and set people free from sin.
Equally.
I am drawing
Right, so-
a breath.
What's
So
your standard for
I'm-
dictating that it's
21st
evil to
century.
rape children?
I'm gonna sound demeaning. I hold modern scientific understanding of human beings. Okay.
All right.
Okay. I don't think that human beings are humans because they breathe on the outside of the womb. I don't think a human being. I think if you have a
believe in the
tracheotomy,
Bible?
you still are a human being.
No,
I believe if you're in a
believe in the
coma,
Bible.
if you need to be
misconstruing it.
assisted,
You
you're
can't
still a
lean on
human
the wall
being.
either. You need to
You-
stand up.
you
You're
don't
nice,
believe in
young,
the
and
Bible?
viral. You
Oh, I
can
do.
Get off the
Have you
wall.
ever
There you go.
read it?
Come on,
Yes,
if
and I
you
know
was
what
Harriet,
you're
I wouldn't
referring
have
to
a
with the
problem.
breath thing. Yeah,
All
I get
right.
you.
Yeah. The same word used for
What
spirit.
about-
The Spirit
What
of
about-
God.
The Spirit of God.
What do you mean, why does it
The
matter? Why do you-
fact
why
that
would you touch her?
in Numbers, I think it is, that they tell you how to abort a
No,
child.
no. You're
No, they
dancing
don't,
all
man.
around and you want to do all this stuff. And I know you went and you got on the internet and you looked some stuff up to prepare for this sort of thing. But nowhere in the Bible does it say that you should shed innocent blood and kill humans.
Sweetie,
It speaks against it everywhere.
you don't
You touch my
have
building, you're touching me.
slightest idea. I am so sorry.
I don't have the slightest
I
idea
am
about
so sorry.
About what, ma'am?
to be here and do this, that your life has amounted to protecting the destruction of human beings, that you love
I
and
don't
want other people to be
understand
guilty with you so you can feel
why
better
you
about what you
feel you have been ordained to stop a woman from doing what she
That's not what I'm
feels
trying to do. That's not
best.
anyone are doing.
Oh, God. Okay, so what is
You
it?
are
Right now, what is
standing
it?
If there was if it was legal to rape children, if it was legal to molest children, I would be standing up and opposing and decrying that. If they had little sinners and they painted them light blue and that's where they molested children, I would be standing outside of that saying, no man has the right to touch a
But
child.
you're not
Because I don't believe, I would violate the autonomy in your view of
The woman felt that it was right to chop her child's head off the other day that was in the news and is now going to go to jail for that. She felt that that was right, that that was the right choice for her. Would you protect that, ma'am?
Maybe she should have had an abortion. Maybe.
What's the difference, ma'am? She had a post-birth abortion, ma'am.
She should have chopped her head off before they were born. Is that what you
sorry,
said?
your mother's abortion was unsuccessful.
Exactly.
That's what
Nobody's
this is.
chopping
No.
I'm
heads
sorry.
off.
She should have came to
Oh,
the
really,
house.
ma'am? Here's a chopped off head as a result of an abortion.
Sorry.
Some people are chopping heads off. When they go at this late, they chop heads off, ma'am. They chop heads off at 10 weeks,
Sometimes
at 8
you're like, man,
weeks,
this baby
ma'am.
has Down syndrome. I hate retarded children. Let's kill it. It happens 10,000 times a year.
And someone may have had
That's not
an
right.
amniocentesis.
No, there are
and
people.
found out
There are
that
young little rich white
child-
girls who like, you know, sleep with a black guy, and they're like, I don't want to have a mixed baby, and they go kill him. And then we talk to them, and they're like, why are you killing this baby? And they say, because this baby's mixed, and I don't want this baby. I don't want this black blood in my family. That's wicked. That's racism. That's dehumanization, and that's abortion. All mixed up. Why? To cover up sin. They're going to shed the innocent blood, destroy a human being to cover up choices they made. That's what this is. Over and over and over.
To make that choice.
No,
You
But people who make bad choices. Okay, so the 40-year-old man, who entices a 6-year-old girl into his car and takes her into a park and rapes her and kills her, he's entitled to that choice?
No. But
That's what you're telling me.
No.
You're telling me if a bigger, older, stronger person wants to prey upon a weak, innocent person, it's okay, and we don't have the right to stand up against them.
That's exactly what you're protecting here, ma'am.
I am not.
A mother can chop off the head of her child and should do it.
That's what you said.
As a protected choice.
I haven't had an abortion.
Because you can't have a baby.
What does that have to do with anything, ma'am? Ma'am, I can never be molested as a child. I never was, and now I'm an adult. I can never be molested as a child, but I can be against molesting children. Right? Can I?
Not.
Wait, can I?
What about white abolitionists opposing slavery?
So, ma'am, I
Do they have a
cannot.
right?
Yeah.
Were they okay to do that? When William Lloyd Garrison stood up and said slavery is wrong because men are made in the image of God regardless of the color of their skin.
They had never been enslaved.
And somebody came up and said, you ain't black. Was he right or was he wrong? Because this is your logic.
Garrison was a little out of there.
Hold on. That's not what we're asking. Is the person that walked up to him
for the same reason you oppose us?
Is the person that walked up to him, ma'am, you're going off subject, ma'am. Was the person who came up to Garrison and said, "You're not black. Shut your mouth. You have no say." Was he right or wrong in that logic?
In his mind, he was probably right.
But was he actually right? I don't care about in his mind.
We're not talking about that.
No. We are talking about that, ma'am.
No,
please answer the question.
Actually, what we're talking about is
ma'am, please answer the question.
Doing everything you can
to
try to justify stuff that doesn't make sense, it's incoherent, and
you
it's
have
wicked.
no right to tell me what I can do about something that may be growing in my body.
A human being developing in your body. Here, do I have the right to love my neighbor?
Cancer is not a human being.
Do I have the right?
Something growing in my body.
A human being, ma'am.
If
you grew
my
inside someone's body.
Is being destroyed, being murdered. Do I have the right to try to protect them and love them? If my fellow man, if a brother or if they're outside of the body.
Yes.
So you know whenever they said, do I have the right to love my neighbor on the plantation? You know what the plantation owner said? If they're on my plantation, they are my property. And
if they got their free papers.
And you have no right to tell me what to do with my property.
I have
same logic.
Cousins.
I'm not talking about whether
who cares?
I'm saying the same logic. It's the same dehumanizing logic. I don't care.
What does that have to do with anything, man?
Well, he's talking about the plantation.
No, I'm saying the same logic.
We're using the same logic.
To justify your abomination is the logic they use to justify theirs.
But I think that you are creating an abomination. That you are
trying to love my neighbor as myself is not an abomination. Trying to help those who are being taken away to the slaughter is not an abomination. This is just pure and undefiled religion before God the Father, opposing the evil of our age and wicked people who have sinned so much that rather than confessing their sin, embrace it and identify themselves happily as those who love and protect murder. And that's what we're opposing. That's what's going on. You can't reframe it. You don't want to call it murder.
No.
You said there's a thing growing in my life and in my womb and I can kill it.
Slave traders didn't think it was a man stealing.
It's a beautiful miracle. It's like a gift of life. It's the mother carries a child within her womb for like 9 months. That nurturing, that relationship, that the fathers who love their wives and love their children, you know, talk. Like I have a 17-week-old child in the womb, okay? And I pat the belly and I say I love you and stuff before and go to bed. Why is that creepy?
That's creepy.
Why is that creepy? Sonogram pictures from their first trimester abortions on their fridges, and they talk about names for their children.
I know, and I find that
I've got a video of my preborn child like doing some kind of weird little fun dance in the womb, moving around because of the sonogram machine. It's a living human child in there, and what you are for, don't get misunderstood on this. What you are for is weapons, sharp instruments being shoved inside of a woman to scrape around to keep that little child from growing any further. That's what you are for, and that's what we are against, because we love that child and you do not love that child. You hate that child. Why? Because that child reminds you of the other children that you hated and that you destroyed.